basically, just to let you know, the beginnings of Old Walls. All right, Old Walls here was our family farm. We bought the farm in the 90s. We are from a family-run group of newsagents in Swansea. We changed what we were doing because supermarkets were coming into the corner stores. So we looked at what we have here and said we're going to change and work on turning our farm into a holiday destination. We had to overcome various things, which is like, planning issues on Gower, which is not easy for the right reasons. We had to raise finance in 2008 when we were in the middle of a recession. I had to learn the service industry because I only have been in the newsagent since I was young enough to stand on a box. And I left there when I was 42, so I had to learn what the service industry was all about, like you do yourselves. I had to learn marketing. I had to learn the design and build because we built this with the builders. I had to set up business plans and manuals, etc. So just basically we had to run every part of the complex before we could afford to bring in other members of staff. This year we've been voted the best wedding venue in Wales. So we've been doing weddings for 4 years, and myself and my staff are really proud of that achievement. Obviously this exercise is really to see if you like tourism. Tourism is not what you all think. Tourism is hard graft, hard work, and sometimes it's about how people perceive you. So it's very much, if you're going to go into tourism, you've got to know how to work a website. You've got to know how to take bookings. You've got to know how to treat the general public. But in all, most things, you've got to know health and safety. So every time you speak to one of my managers today and you talk about what they do, their first thing is health and safety. So Lauren, as I said, is in charge of the wedding events team. All right, and also she's in charge of HR and she's in charge of recruitment. So if anybody looking for a job, she's the one to give an apple to. Joe is my accommodation manager. Jack runs the bar. So again, talk to Jack, talk to these guys about what you want. All right, so thanks very much for listening to me. And now's your chance to get any information you need off these guys.
Excellent.
All right?
Thank you very much.
When people sit down, there's normally, if there's a table of say about 6, there'll be about 3 of us going out with 2 plates each. And we all go, we do it as a 3 o'clock. So we see it as a clock. So this is a clock, this way. We're looking at the clock this way. And we always go around the table to the 3 o'clock.
Sure as our customer service is very high and the guests feel they're having a really lovely stay with us. We check every room after a housekeeper has been in it to make sure all the cleaning's been done appropriately, and we check everything from under the bed to behind all the drawers. We make sure there's enough coat hangers, that everything is working in here. And if the room's not used for a few days and then somebody's checking in, we check it again on the day before arriving, because it's amazing what can go wrong in that period of time. With the bridal suites, this is the piece to really stop down here. There's no shadow of doubt. This is our most booked up room, even outside a wedding. When Old Walls was first purchased by Andrew's family 10 years ago, and all these buildings were set catering cottages, they had them built. and there was 5 of them. And then when the weddings took off about 4 years ago, they changed all the self-kitchen rooms into safe kitchen porches into rooms, because who wants to sleep in a kitchen? No one's using a kitchen in a wedding. And a lot of money was spent, and one of the areas that I think has really sort of been most successful is this section. They have their own sauna through here as well. And now all these facilities, before anyone checks in, we check everything. System plays bedroom, bathroom, in here, hot tub and sauna. You take it off, and then so if the guests are down in the hot tub, they can change it themselves.
So just tell you a little bit about my background and then how I ended up in Old Walls. I started off a cupcake business online and on Facebook, just promoted myself that way. I started off then like with local restaurants and local coffee shops, just providing them with my cakes to sell, just to get my business name out there as well. And started doing like local food fairs and showcases and wedding fairs. And then I opened up a shop in the Swansea market. It just got so busy for us that the stall that we had wasn't big enough, so we decided to look for property elsewhere, and a coffee shop became available. This is when I went into business on my own, pretty much. As much as I loved having my own business, I loved being recognised, you know, in Swansea with customers and things, and then our regulars. It just didn't work for me, and that was when I applied for the job here in Old Walls. I had my interviews with Lauren, who you've met, and she said to me, well, wait, basically you haven't got the experience for a wedding coordinator, so what we'll do is we'll start you off as a waitress. So I started as a waitress, doing all the table service for the weddings, and then within 3 months then they made me front of house. Pretty much 6 months after that they then made me a wedding coordinator assistant, and then within the last month then they've made me wedding coordinator and event manager. So it's been, and I started last April, so it goes to show you that, you know, within that time, if you prove yourself in business, if you show that you are passionate and it's something that you want to do, then you can work your way up. So, you know, if you are looking to get into an industry where you might have to start at the bottom, then don't be afraid to just, you know, go for it, because as long as you prove yourself and you show that you are dedicated to the business, you know, you can progress within the company.
So please put your hands together for Andrew and Phil.
Thank you guys, thank you. This is a wedding venue, so it's totally different to what you'll find in restaurants and things like that. On this one, it's a lot easier in a wedding venue. You deal with massive amount of numbers, and we try and make everything homemade here, from our canapes right to starters, main courses. We deal in around about 100 to, we got one wedding coming up, 230. So it's a lot. There's a lot of planning, there's a lot of preparation. But I've got a good team in the kitchen I have, and we all work together. We all got different jobs in the kitchen, and we all work through, and it's just being organised. We're allowed in this wedding venue. I got free reign, which is really good, and we just keep creating all the time. All the time creating new things, new dishes, new combinations. We have got set menus to go right the way through. Like the desserts, you've got the brownie and the ice cream. As long as you've got 3 main components, we then play around with everything. All the new micro herbs coming through, we play around with micro herbs. We make soils, we do chocolate soils, we make chocolate snow, white snow. It's just all things like that we can experiment with now.
Yeah, I'd advise any of you to get onto Instagram and really follow, because social media is really the way food is progressing now. If you go on Art of Plate and Chef's Talk, Staff Canteen, stuff like this, you'll see all of the trends, and a lot of chefs will always give up recipes at some point.
Yeah, you can get a job part-time or anything, just get into a kitchen now and start learning. Yeah, you're going to have to start from the bottom, start doing pots, start doing pans, scrub the floors, but then when you find a person who's willing to do all that and they've got the passion, they'll do it because you want to move on.
I've got no formal, I mean I didn't go to catering college or anything, I just started in a pot wash as a job and built that up, and that's how, you just need a work ethic. As long as you're willing to work hard, it doesn't matter what it doesn't matter what your background is or anything, as long as you work hard, then the respect will be given and you'll work up